Beep, 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 beep. Hello, peeps, and welcome to this Jester special. Let's put a bit more light on the subject, shall we? See if it works. There you are. You can see me. Hey! Right, okay. Breaking Jester news. It's not Jester news. I was alerted to this by Transgender Trend, but I thought, let's get it up today so you can all have a gander. It's in the Dubras as usual. This is important, okay? This is important. City Journal reporting from November the 8th in an article here by under Healthcare, Politics, Law and Social, Medicine with a Transgender Bias by Leo Sapir and Joseph Figliolia. These people have written before, and I've done videos on them before. They're doing great work in the space. So this is a very important piece. A new lawsuit, here's the important stuff coming. A new lawsuit raises the question of whether gender-affirming care constitutes gay conversion therapy and violated the civil rights of a gay man. We're in America, okay? Bear that in mind. But you will know that Sex Matters and the team over there, everybody involved in Sex Matters, Helen Meyer, the usual crew, right? Okay, have all put their shoulder behind the idea that actually trans is the new gay conversion therapy. It is new gay conversion therapy, which is why that the gay conversion therapy bill must not be passed, and why I imagine sensible politicians were happy that it was removed from the King's Speech, and the lunatics are still ranting on about it. But in America, at Fenway Community Health Center in Boston, the largest provider of transgender medicine in New England and one of the leading institutions of its kind in the United States, was named a defendant in a lawsuit filed last month. It begins. The plaintiff, a gay man who goes by the alias Shapeshifter, argues that by approving him for hormones and surgeries, Fenway Health subjected him to gay conversion practices, in violation of his civil rights. Carlin versus Fenway Community Health Center is the first lawsuit in the United States to argue that gender-affirming care can be a form of anti-gay discrimination. Well, it is. End of story. The case underscores an important clinical reality. Gender dysphoria has multiple pathways, and many who experience it will turn out to be gay. Even the Endocrine Society concedes that many of the youth who outgrow their dysphoria by adolescence later identify as gay or bisexual. You don't identify, you know that as well as I do. They are either gay or they're bisexual. Decades of research confirms as much. There are links to all this in the article so that you can follow them if you wish to do some more work. Gender clinicians in the UK used to have a dark joke that there would be no gay people left at the rate the Gender Identity Development Service was going, former BBC journalist Hannah Barnes reported. Rather than help young gay people to accept their bodies and their sexualities, what if gender-affirming clinicians are putting them on a pathway to irreversible harm? We know they are, folks. That's not Lior saying that. We know they are. Due partly to Shape's lifelong difficulty in accepting himself as gay, I understand that perfectly, his lawyers are not taking the usual approach to detransition litigation. Rather than state a straightforward claim of medical malpractice or fraud, they allege that Fenway Health has violated Section 1557 of the Affordable Care Act, brackets ACA, the Affordable Care Act, which bans discrimination on the basis of sex in healthcare. This is very interesting, people, isn't it? Very interesting. A very interesting development that I hope will lead to something worth considering. Yes, right. What they're saying is that in 2020, the Supreme Court ruled in Bostock versus Clayton County that discrimination because of sex, including discrimination based on homosexuality. See? Based on homosexuality. Citing this and other precedents, Shape's lawyers argue that federal law affords distinct protections to gay men and lesbians, upon which clinics that operate with a transgender bias are trampling. This is important, folks. Shape grew up in a Muslim country in Eastern Europe that he describes in an interview as very traditional and homophobic. Colour me surprised. His parents disapproved of his effeminate demeanour and interest as a child. It's like the story ever told, isn't it? Story ever told. They shouldn't let him play with dolls, and his mother, he says, made him do stretches so that he would grow taller and appear more masculine. Homophobia, eh? Never goes away. At 11, Shape had his first of several sexual encounters with older men. Oh, there's abuse in the history as well then. I was definitely groomed, he recounts. Shape proceeded to develop a pattern of risky sexual behaviour, according to his legal complaint. He told his medical team at Fenway Health about his childhood sexual experiences, calling them consensual. The Fenway providers never challenged him on this interpretation, he alleges. They never suggested that he might have experienced sexual trauma or, say, explored how these events might have shaped his feelings of dissociation. The irony is that Fenway Health describes its model of care as trauma-informed. It's every tick in the box, isn't it? Every tick in the box. Anyway, this poor man. As with the social environment they inhabited, Shape's parents were deeply homophobic, he says. When Shape came out to his parents as gay at 15, they took him to a therapist, hoping that he could be fixed. But when he graduated high school at the same age, he moved to Bulgaria for college, and in 2007, at 17, he came to the United States for a summer program at the University of North Carolina. He later moved back to Massachusetts to pursue an MBA at Clark University and immigrated to the US. Though he had known about cross-dressers and transsex as a child, he'd taken an interest in Dana International, the famous Israeli transsexual who won the Eurovision Song Contest in 1998. It was only at Clark that he was introduced to the idea that some people are transgender. Other students began asking him about his pronouns and telling him about gender identity. After getting to know a non-binary person and a transgender woman, a man in other words, Shape started to make sense of his life retrospectively. As a boy going through puberty, he had developed larger than average breasts and was curvier than other boys. It was hard for him to be accepted in the gay community, he told me, because gay men tend to value masculinity. Right, that's an interesting one. That's maybe particular to where he is. His discomfort with social expectations about how men are supposed to look and behave, his sexual attraction to other men, his ongoing psychological and emotional distress. These were all signs he learned from online forums that he must have been born in the wrong body. Shape quickly developed self-hatred and a strong desire to escape his body. When he started cross-dressing and presenting socially as a woman, things changed. It had been hard for him to win acceptance as an effeminate gay man, but he encountered far less hostility presenting as a woman. A subtle but important shift in his thinking took place. Please do go and read the City Journal article there from these two fine writers. We are going to hear about this again and again and again until we confirm and criminalise trans conversion therapy of gay men. That's what it is. And others. I just happen to be talking about gay men today before somebody says, "Do you also mean?" Yes, I do, and you know that, right? Okay, so go and read the City Journal. Please do share this, subscribe, but let's get this out there. This could be a very important case for the American people. And also, it could be a case that will be looked at internationally to see what is going to be best practice as we continue to get the TQ plus ghouls off the LGB, away from young people and away from children who they seem absolutely intent on medicalising, sterilising and putting through a lifetime of torment. It ends, all of it, full stop. That's my take and it will remain my take. Thank you for watching. That was the Jester Special. See you later.